Absolute Genius Podcast.
Yo, AG, talk that shit, man.
Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is AG, and you have tuned into the Absolute Genius Podcast. Now, we're going to hop right on into it. Funk Master Flex done hit the airways, done took over, and he done brought in DaBaby, Kimora Lee Simmons, into some messy, you know? Uh, he went to the airways and he was saying, hey, Kimora's a bird, and uh, Birdman, and DaBaby didn't, like I said, he retracted his statement. It was clear that he said Birdman, baby. Uh, Either way, he threw both of them inside of the mix. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that Birdman and Kimora had a little situation back in, but he later said that, hey, I wasn't talking about DaBaby, because DaBaby came out and he was like, hold up, man, let's clear this up. I ain't never been with Shorty whatsoever. Let's keep it respectable. Flex, I don't know what you're talking about. But like I said, to me, it was clear that he knew what he was saying. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It seemed like he was throwing both of them, in the pot. But like I said, he did come back out and he, attempted to clear the air, and he said that, hey, I was talking about Birdman, not DaBaby. You know, uh, so we're gonna get into a sound bite of
My face and my name attached to some
DaBaby.
shit. Watch all them niggas. Out of respect for the woman, you know what I'm saying, who goddamn they speaking on. I felt the need to come clear that shit up. That shit is 1000% false. OG, I don't know what the hell you got going on, or what even made you goddamn feel comfortable enough to goddamn throw my name out there so loosely like that. But that shit ain't true. I'm looking forward to seeing you clear that up. I'm disappointed. I'm looking forward to you clearing that up, Flex. But hell yeah, that ain't true at all. I ain't got no tea, no none of that for nobody right now. I ain't got nothing but good music. Just thought I'd clear that up. Happy holiday. What you know about having to sell one of your cars?
And that's DaBaby, right? He said, I ain't got no parts of that. All I got is, some good music for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all got going on, man, keep me up out of that. Like I said, Flex did come out and say, hey, I was talking about Birdman. I wasn't talking about DaBaby. To me, it just seemed, keep it 100. We heard what we heard, and you said what you said. But I respect DaBaby. We ain't doing no pillow talking. Well, evidently there's some pillow talking somewhere in the mix. Regardless, like I said, Flex, trying to boost them ratings. Kimora got a new show, and DaBaby say he got new music on the way, right? So they all can capitalize from this situation, and I believe that they all will. Like I said, DaBaby said he do, want Flex to clarify, and Flex did come back out and, he retracted his statement. He said he meant Birdman, not DaBaby, right? But like I said, when we're referencing Birdman, it's always Birdman, baby. Uh, but it sounded like he said DaBaby, but hey, I could be mistaken. He could have made a mistake regardless of the situation. Like, where we get to the point to where we talking about, you know, another man sleeping with somebody else that really ain't got, what did she do to you? Did she do something to you? It's, what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. It's all messy. But like I said, much respect to DaBaby, because he came out and was like, nah, man, me and Shorty ain't had no ties. And she also said, she took to social media and she was like, man, I never met him. Like I said, neither here, neither there. Like I said, but Flex got on the ways, and he made that, that statement that he made. All right. So it's really
Hey, I just seen.
it's really all about, talking another man's business, to me. Like I said, everybody know Birdman and Kimora had a situation. Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, to throw someone else in the mix, damn, we got to keep things P. You know what I'm saying? Even if they did have a situation with each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gonna throw that out there and throw homie, in the situation, throw Shorty in the situation. Like I said, Flex did take over uh Hot 97, and it's controversy. Controversy sells, people. They just keep it 100. But Baby said, nah, ain't that ain't what that is. And also, she said, Kimora said, that ain't what that is. Shut your mouth. You know.
My face and my name attached to some shit. Watch all them niggas. Out of respect for the woman. You know what I'm saying?
She's a bird. Continue the story.
Now, Flex, you know you can't say that.
What's her name? What's her name?
Miss Kimora Lisa.
And Russell's all white, right?
Back to the family, but back to the family.
And DaBaby was beaten.
All right. There you go.
Go ahead. Finish the story. Finish the story. Say word. Finish the story. That is not nice. Now, what does she need?
Back in the Fab Lane, her reality show is out. We get to see Kimora.
She's a bird. Continue the story.
Now, Flex, you know you can't say that.
What's her name? What's her name?
Miss Kimora Lisa.
And Russell's all white, right?
Back to the family, but back to the family.
And DaBaby.
All right. There you go. You got Flex running his mile, saying, Kimora was with Birdman, and he, like I said, sound like he said DaBaby. He said he didn't say DaBaby, or he meant Birdman instead of DaBaby. Regardless, they all got thrown in this situation. And like I said, we got to do a better job at that. Keep your mouth closed, man. Like, especially if it ain't got, even if so, what does that have to do with you besides you taking over Hot 97, right? Controversy sales. Kimora has a new show out, and DaBaby said he has some new music. So like I said, we really don't want this to go any further. I doubt it will. But it's a messy, messy situation. Flex did, however, clean up what he said. So that's neither here or there, right? Like I said, like, let's just be real. We heard what you said, you know. We heard what you said, brother. And like I said, if not, it shouldn't have came out your mouth regardless. It shouldn't have came out regardless.
He was beating that. Go ahead. Finish the story. Finish the story. Say word. Finish the story. That is not nice. Now, what does she need?
Back in the Fab Lane, her reality show is out. We get to see Kimora.
She's a bird. Continue the story.
Now, Flex, you know you can't say that.
What's her name? What's her name?
Miss Kimora Lisa.
And Russell's all white, right?
Back to the family, but back to the family.
And DaBaby was beating that. Go ahead. Finish the story. Finish the story. Say word. Finish the story. That is not nice. Now, what does she need?
Back in the Fab Lane, her reality show is out. We get to see Kimora.
All right, he called Kimora Bird, and like I said, you guys know what that is. If you don't, it's a promiscuous woman, that goes from man to man. And so, like I said,
continue the story.
He came back out and he said, "Nah, I didn't mean that. I meant DaBaby." Like I said, so I guess it's cleared up, but it started a lot of it started a situation, right? Like I said, you don't want to be brought into something that you really had no part in, right? Don't nobody want to be brought in a situation that they didn't have nothing to do with, you know. And like I said, even if so, and if they decided to keep it on the low, if she ain't married or if he ain't got no situation going on, what is it to you? You know, what is it to you besides it makes good radio, right? It makes good radio. Also, like I said, you know, she does have a show. DaBaby does have new music, right? So, uh, you can put that, you can add those up however you want to. Uh, I'm just saying that controversy does and will forever sell, right? That's just the truth of the situation. Controversy sells, you know. But like I said,
Now, Flex, you know you can't say
What's her
that.
name? What's her name?
Miss Kimora Lee
Hey,
Simmons.
Russell's your wife, right?
And who goddamn they speaking on, I felt the need to come clear that shit up. That shit is 1,000% false. OG, I don't know what the hell you got going on or what even made you goddamn feel comfortable enough to goddamn throw my name out there so loosely like that. But that shit ain't true. I'm looking forward to seeing you clear that up. I'm disappointed. I'm looking forward to you clearing that up, Flex. But hell yeah, that ain't true at all. I ain't got no tea, no none of that for nobody right now. I ain't got nothing but good music. Just thought I'd clear that up. Happy holiday.
What you know about having to sell one of your cars to pay your...
Hey, I just seen my face and my name attached to some shit.
right, and there you have it. You know, like I said, you got to give DaBaby credit. He handled this situation uh, very professional. He handled this situation like a man. He didn't get upset. He didn't make no type of threats to Flex from saying his name. You know, as a man, he handled that correctly. It could have went differently on all from all parties. It really could have went differently, right? Uh, but it was taken care of the right way. You have to give DaBaby some type of credit for handling that situation, right? Immediately he came when once he heard his name, he was like, "Nah, that didn't happen." You know what I'm saying? Nah. And like I said, Flex then replied, was like, "Hey, I meant Birdman. I didn't mean DaBaby." Right? But like I said, it sounded like he knew exactly what he was saying. It sounded like he knew exactly what he was doing. It sounded like he was going to stir the pot. Uh, and sometimes that's the profession that's chose. But like I said, it all got cleared up. Hopefully, DaBaby dropped some of that music that he was sampling while he was addressing this situation. And all love to Kimora. She have a show. Make sure y'all check that out. Make sure y'all check DaBaby music out. Make sure y'all tune in to Flex Show over there at Hot 97. So much love, right? Once again, Absolute Genius Podcast, and we out.